Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 177. Unfortunately, it's not 3.14 because it's Pie Day.
It's Pie Day.
And I didn't have any pie because I don't work in an office most of the time anymore. Did you have any pie today?
I have a pie, but I'm going to give it to my daughters. But at the mothership, as we call it, the bosses bought pizza, so I went over there and said,
"Oh, that's a different kind of pie."
And then came over, and I was like, "Oh, sweet! I get to get off work and bike a little bit extra today." So that's what I took advantage of.
Oh, very good.
So it was a good pie day.
You got up 3 minutes early?
No, it was a little bit earlier than that.
Oh, that's good.
4 minutes. 3.14.
3.14. Yeah, a little bit more than
3.1417.
1.5.
I had some colleagues in high school that they challenged each other in a semester to see who could memorize pi out to the furthest digit. The winner was like 152. It's not 152 digits out.
I believe
the loser only had like 142.
If you set out to do it, you'll get a lot.
And these are the two smartest guys in our high school by far. The one guy, James, he did his master's in AI back 10, and he did, Super Value grocery stores?
Yeah.
He did their automation, personally himself.
Wow, that's awesome.
And I don't know what happened to Fletcher, but probably, something.
Masters in AI, that's pretty good.
But yeah, that I said, 10, 15 years. Sorry, Stacey.
Oh, yeah, so he was an early adopter.
Very early adopter.
Yeah, the compute power.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I'd be remiss for beer news if I didn't. It was brought up to me by a couple of people that were following Ukrainian beer. Mm-hmm. The Ukrainian beer that we had from Liev, they're their sister brewer was the one that is producing all the Molotov cocktails.
Okay.
So same town, it's like kind of corporate ladder. The other one that corrected us on Untapped. Similar situation in Ukraine. One brews the beer and one's brewing Molotov cocktails. So I thought that was a cool story. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring that up.
Yep.
The other piece of news is we finally agreed upon 45 seconds before we hit record. We're going to start at 9/8 Central this Friday.
9/8 Central. We're going to start.
We're going to start.
So if we're late, it's because we're having technical difficulties.
Right.
Just hang out. We'll be there.
You're drinking at home or wherever you're going to drink with us anyway. So we will hit the go live button.
Here's what you can do.
Yep.
When you subscribe, because if you're not subscribed, you should be subscribed on YouTube. There's a little bell. You click that bell, it fills in the bell with like a full, color. It's white or black or something.
I fill in bells.
When you fill it in, you'll get alerts on your device that tell you when we go live.
Yeah.
That way, if we're late because we're having difficulties, which we shouldn't, you'll get the alert.
Yeah, we'll try to have it flushed out before, but again, it should be just hitting the one button now. Unlike the last couple of times we've done this and we've gone back and forth. And
Facebook was rough.
Everyone's been a good sport about it and given us the proper ribbing that we should be having.
Absolutely.
But this time it's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you're a subscriber to this, you should be a subscriber to us on YouTube. It's going to work out masterfully.
Yeah, it will work out massively. I'm gonna have to test the internet in the Carriage House bar.
Can you just connect to your phone?
Yeah. So I have a Wi-Fi puck out there for my mesh network, but Chuggalos Phil broke one of the little metal pieces on the Ethernet cable. So now it says it gets 100 max when I have like 400 megabits per second.
Yeah.
So we don't have fiber. But that cord only gets 100.
Does the old Google pucks, do they go above 100, the first generation?
Yeah, so
awesome.
The ones I have go to 1 gig.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah. You just have to make sure that you have a Cat 6, not a Cat 5 cable.
Right.
And you have to have that internet, which we don't.
So, do you know within one piece of Cat 5 there's 8 cables?
I don't know anything about cables.
So, the pattern goes orange, white, orange, green, white, blue, brown, white, brown. We had to in high school we had to memorize.
No shit.
For our telecommunications class. Yeah. So I know it was orange, white, orange, green, white, blue. But anyways, and then you just flip the two middle ones, the fourth and fifth, then you get a crossover cable.
A crossover.
Yeah.
What does that do? That goes into the spirit realm?
So like if you're making like a LAN. like direct PC to PC.
Interesting.
I probably fucked it up. Mikey will make a comment. Correct me.
I'm
pretty sure it's orange, white, orange.
You said that's Cat 5?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter anymore.
It's the same thing. Well, Cat 6 still has 8.
It still has 8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing.
For whatever fiber they're putting in around here, you need Cat 6.
We made so many patch cables in high school. I think we ran a sweatshop. I think our teacher sold us.
Yeah. You were probably working for AT&T or something. You just didn't know it.
Yeah.
We didn't do that in high school.
This was our like charter school because we knew that we were going to school for telecommunications.
Oh,
so
okay.
this like prepped us. We got a couple of college credits for it.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was a school within a school.
They had that at my high school. It was more trade. I guess that would be kind of a trade, but ours was like mechanic stuff.
Yeah.
They had an auto shop at the school.
Yeah. We had those guys too.
Yeah. I don't know what yours is more probably on the STEM side. That telecommunications
I think
stuff.
it was before. I didn't know what STEM was.
STEM that term is I think fairly new. I don't know.
But it was neat. We got to play with routers and all of that, and we progressed on our CCNAs, our Cisco Certified Network Associate crap, and then did it for exactly a year in college, and then flipped my majors. But now, if I would have stayed,
I'm glad you did.
If I would have stayed telecommunications, I'd probably be making at least $17 to $18 an hour. No, they get paid a lot.
Oh yeah, they do.
I'm not.
The electric people, they get paid a lot.
Yeah,
they get paid a lot. Now I want to bring up one thing. Chuggalo, my wife, Chuggalo Caterade, asked me.
Chuggalo, my wife. I love when you do that.
She asked me why we had no interest in the BrewDog Ukrainian beer, and the answer was, in case anyone else is wondering, because we did real Ukrainian beer.
Yeah.
And that was my answer to her, and she said that's fine. But she had wanted me originally to go get that. Because it does support some organization. I don't know where
some organization.
Who knows where the money's really going?
Yeah. It's like if you rent out an Airbnb, supposedly it's going to the people of Ukraine, and you would hope that. But I'm sure that Airbnb is still getting
like $2 from every Airbnb or something.
Like $1.25, sir.
$1.25. You spent $6,000. I don't know how much Airbnbs cost these days.
It's been a long time. I think when we were in Columbus, was that a Verbo or an Airbnb?
That was a Verbo.
Thing?
We did it in Gatlinburg. If you go to Gatlinburg, I highly recommend not staying in a hotel.
Right.
Get the Airbnb at the in the woods or in the mountains.
Besides that real-time feedback from Chuggalo, your wife, I lone that pause when you think about what you're gonna call her. Any other beer news?
No.
Chuggalo Dave corrected me on what he was doing in New Belgium. I'm gonna screw it up, but he'll correct me again, and I love that real time feedback. He was putting in, they were putting in, not an exploratory line, when they do small batches. What's that called? Experimental.
Experimental.
Yeah, so he was putting an experimental line. And then if you notice in our last video, he commented below. He was the Bernie guy. Because that's the company.
Oh, okay.
That may be the company. But he gave you real-time feedback on your scales.
Yeah, he did. I read that comment, yeah. And Mike commented after 5 seconds of watching, he said he didn't care. I was like, that could be a commentary on the whole thing, being so close to the front of the video.
I'm always, because he always gives great feedback,
yeah.
But he always comments like in the first 8 minutes. Mm-hmm. So then part of me is like, do I really want to know if he watches past the 12th minute?
So is he shotgunning his homework is what you're saying?
Yeah, the cliff notes, just the cliff notes.
Yeah, exactly.
I used to tell them, guys, I'd be like, this is a really good episode. Make sure you listen to like hour 217. Maybe they'd listen to it twice. Be like, I'll figure it out. But now they're getting wise to my ways.
They're getting wise, yeah.
Yeah.
5 seconds in, I don't care.
Terrible.
It's either about the valedictorian comment.
That's what it was.
Yeah, I figured, yeah.
Yeah. Who cares if you're a valedictorian or not?
Yeah, no one does.
It's like, Sean Connery's line, winners go home and fuck the prom queen. All right. So this beer, I've been stupid excited for. I try not to say that all the time. It's happening a lot. This is Effin Awesome.
Oh, I love the name.
And I knew you would. And there's going to be a lot to disseminate for JT on the... But I just want to get the pour. JT, guess first. Here, in your glass. And this is out of Lithuania.
Ooh.
So this is
Lithuania. Never been. Have you been?
No.
Thank you.
So if you ever want to notice how, like, the Baltic countries, they go in alphabetical order from north to south. So they go Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. So Lithuania is bordered by Russia and Belarus. So kind of in the same area. Did you take a drink?
I'm tasting it without knowing what it is.
Okay.
I wanted to see if I could get any.
Yeah.
I have a...
Sure.
It's a barley wine?
Yeah, sure. No, go ahead.
Is it?
No, it's not a barley wine. It's an Imperial Lager ringing in at 16%.
Imperial Lager. I've never tasted anything like this.
So that's why I didn't... I slow played it there.
Yeah.
And this is very appropriate. So in the real world today, and then for the mole people, which we don't mention too much anymore, Scott Hall was put on life support. Scott Hall, the professional wrestler, Razor Ramon, was put on life support, and Big Sexy Kevin Nash said overnight that they were waiting for all the family members to get there because he had 3 heart attacks after complications from a hip procedure. Once all the family gets in place, they're going to be pulling Scott Hall off of life support here. Yeah. So very dour and sad news. One of my favorite wrestlers of all time, top 5 for sure. So and it's only appropriate. I know Scott Hall had his battles with alcohol that we would really have something robust to drink, and hopefully some miracle happens and he pulls through. But for Scott Hall. So anyways, this is from. So Effin Awesome is the name of the beer. The brewery is the Rinkuskiai Birzai.
Ooh, look at that name.
Nailed it. So you can find out more just if you Google Effin Awesome. I didn't go to the website or anything because it's in foreign, but it's imported from a place in South Carolina. But again, bottled by Rinkuskiai Birzai, Birzai. That's beer in Lithuanian. So this is Effin Awesome, 16% Imperial Lager. This comes from Chuggalo Emanuel, who gets a kick out of us pronouncing. And the next beer is going to be from Romania, which is Emanuel's homeland. So I know he's waiting for me to fucking murder his own language.
Yeah, wow. There's some
16.9%, and boy, this is wow. It does not hide the alcohol well.
No, it doesn't.
This is like Ron Jeremy coming over to a dinner party that you're hosting, and he's not wearing pants. You just can't hide it. The hedgehog is in full bloom.
You just can't hide it.
So what do you think without knowing what it was? I know you said barley wine.
Yeah, I mean, it was strong.
The booze it wasn't hidden for you. Is this crushable?
No, not crushable. Imperial Lager, I don't believe I've ever had that, so that's good. That's a good start there, having something I've never had.
You can't say it's because there's IPLs like an India Pale Lager, because the Imperial Lager, kind of an IPL, if you will, but no, this is much closer to booze than it is beer. There's not much carbonation, not much action to it. It is. I'm glad I have a friend here to drink this one with. This warms.
Interesting.
It warms like
such
booze.
An interesting flavor. It does warm. It is warm. You could definitely drink. Yeah, this has a booziness to it, but it doesn't mean it's not flavorful. I'm trying to pinpoint that flavor.
Emanuel, what was your intention when you brought this over? Because you brought a box of amazing beer, and so had you had a couple of beers and then you had this, you would have been spending the night. You're not going anywhere. You have a couple of beers or whatever. You have one or this one or whatever, but you brought a significant amount, which is hilarious. This is unique. This is outside of our comfort. I'm glad. Again, Imperial Lager. When's the next time? I bet we don't have one before episode 200.
Oh, almost certainly not, unless somebody gifts us one.
I mean, it's probably the best Imperial Lager I've ever had.
Yeah, same here.
I'd be willing to debate that.
All right, this can art has got to be discussed. We might get banned from YouTube on this one, but she's covered. Quite the bottle art. The name's awesome. Effin Awesome.
It's Effin Awesome.
Effin Awesome, which makes me think that this was brewed with Americans in mind, because I don't think that this translation. I don't think this translates in any other language because it's an abbreviation of fucking. Like, it's not a word. Effin, Effin. It's not a word. It might be a Lithuanian word, which would be awesome if it was.
So the first thing I thought of is Effi. EFE is a big like beer in Turkey and like in Eastern Europe, so I thought it was a play on that, but it's not. It's not a play on that. So maybe it's just because you can't put fucking on something and sell it. So this is the closest thing. There
is an F in vodka, but it's EFFEN.
Yeah.
Effin.
This is.
I don't know if this is a word.
It's such a unique color.
It is a musical artist, a dance artist. That's all I know. Yep, it's also Urban Dictionary has it as a common way of spelling the term fuck.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that clarification. Yeah. That piece of no shit brought to you by Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, this is crazy.
You just want to drink it from the bottle? That's okay.
No, I don't.
This beer would be appropriate if you threw it in a brown paper bag and just was a vagrant outside of your favorite gas station. Oh, by the way, Chuggalo Stev gave me some real-time feedback. We were chit-chatting. He was saying that he's gone to Crispy Crunchy Shell and their selection has been horseshit.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. And then we were, again, the same, and the third leg to this stool where we always talk about Barrel House. And it's amazing. None of us get down there just because of life. It's just...
I'm close. I should get down there.
We want to go there, and we need to go down there because they've been such a strong supporter of us and the amazing advent calendar that they put together for us, and then just haven't got down there since.
Yeah, I need to get down there because I'm close. So I'm sorry, Crispy Crunchy Shell hasn't been great. I usually go there, and it's wonderful.
Look into that camera and apologize to Steph right now.
I'm sorry. It's that I will admit that Halls has an A game. They're like the A game, and Crispy Crunchy Shell I thought was like a A- game.
But like you said, they're recently, chicken. They do other stuff.
Maybe their beers, like they have a guy like Pat who curates and orders and takes pride in that beer selection. As much as we joke about the name, they have a guy there whose only job it is to do their beer. And they have taps there too. So,
geez, those are both positives.
Yeah. So it should be good. I haven't been there in a few weeks because I just have too much beer at my house. And the last time I bought beer, Pat had 450, so I went there. So I haven't needed to get beer in a while. But I'll check it out, Steph. I'll check it out. For you, I'll check it out.
Speaking of, I want to ask a question because you just brought... So speaking of needing beer, there was this recent conversation on craft beer gates.
Yeah.
When do you buy beer? When you're out? Or when do you buy beer? I don't want to lead you.
When do I buy beer? I get distracted easily and buy beer when I don't need it. I just buy beer when I see it. I don't shop a lot. And with our discovery of things like Instacart, I rarely go to the store anymore. But when I'm at the store, I'll always look for beer.
Yeah.
Always. I've learned that Kroger's not going to have it.
It's a shame that Kroger, because our Kroger is pretty good.
Yeah, your Kroger's pretty good. Our Kroger sucks. Our Meijer's good.
Yeah.
They usually have pretty good selection. Is it Meijer? Yeah.
This might be a good question because I would say that Chuggalo Mike buys it when he's out. He goes full empty, full empty, full empty.
Oh, all right.
I really,
when he's out, I can't. I don't.
I really believe.
I don't ever go out.
I get to the point where I don't think I have enough diversity in my fridge. I'm not out by any means, but I want to always have a pause when I open my fridge. And besides, I don't know when a group of circus clowns are going to come, and I want to be able to satiate all the palates.
Yeah.
So that's my fear, and it never happens.
It never happens.
I want somebody
I'll make it happen.
I want somebody to be able to open my fridge and just know I'm serious about being a host.
Yeah.
And not just.
I don't think anyone has that doubt.
No, but it's a fear that makes no sense.
No, I get it.
Beer
I don't fear that people will think I'm I'm not taking hosting seriously, I feel like they'll think I'm not willing to.
Your challenge, I think, is you stock 2 fridges. So you have the nice one inside in the kitchen, and then you have the carriage house.
Yeah.
So that's a challenge.
Yeah, but I don't keep them full. So there's really 2 questions there. When do you buy beer?
Yep.
I buy beer if I'm shopping and I see a beer I want.
Yep.
When do I purposely go get beer?
Yep.
Because that's a different thing. That I'm going to the store that sells beer. I'm going to Arrow, Crispy Crunchy Shell, or Halls. That is when I see something I want.
This is a good question for Steph, too. I want to know when he buys beer.
Yep.
Mine is the diversity thing. Again, because the fridge will never be empty. Period. Dot. I've got beer sitting on the floor over here that there's not enough room in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then number 2, when Pat text messages me, then I go grab beer.
Yeah, I wish Pat text messaged.
Because again, I want that relationship. Like if it costs me $100 or whatever, it's a relationship because if they get something good in, that's not like a shelf turd or whatever. Like fuck yeah.
Can we get Pat on the show?
Yeah, we
should do that.
We'll dial Pat in. He works. It would be tough to do it on location there. We'd have to find out his hours.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, a long diatribe, and I wanted to this, and now you know why I use the word distill for the beer.
Yes. So this is the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by my nephew Chuggalo Frank, not Chuggalo.
Brought to you by Emanuel, who brought this.
Oh yeah, Emanuel. Yep, because I had totally forgotten that. Emanuel.
Booze will do that to you.
Excellent can art here, and I'm glad that it's not my nephew because I don't want to talk about this can art with my nephew in mind.
But you want to talk about it with Emanuel in mind.
Yes, I do want to talk about it with Emanuel in mind.
He's a good-looking dude.
Thanks, Emanuel. Yeah. So he's the person I'm thinking of. That was at your summer.
He's the one with the accent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I do know who he is. Met him. Great guy. Had a lot of interesting conversations. Can't say I had an interesting conversation because I had many interesting conversations.
That's how I know it's
at your summer party. There was some splintering of the conversations, and there was porch conversations or patio, and then there was the grass. I was on the patio most of the time with Chuggalo Pete and Emanuel. Chuggalo Emanuel. So, man, great conversations between those guys. So this can art is man. So she's wearing. So there's a what I would assess.
It's not often that you're at all.
Her. I don't want to I don't want to make any assumptions here, but she's wearing one of those masks that you'd wear that you'd see in I don't go to sex parties, but in a movie they portray these like sex parties, with these masks on, where you're kind of anonymous, but really like none of them are wearing anonymous masks. Like
I never even looked that close.
I never looked up. Is what you're saying.
I didn't even know that there's boobs involved.
There's boobs involved.
Wow. Okay, now I know. Now I see why you're hesitant.
Upper half naked woman. She has. You can't see it, but you.
I seriously don't look at this stuff.
The assumption is that she's got the right features for, attraction. But she's wearing one of those masks that they wear in
like a masquerade
movie
party.
Orgy, masquerade party. It's lace. It looks lace. And she's smoking a very long cigar. This is not like a Macanudo Cuban or something like that. I don't know anything about cigars. This is like a very.
It's a Churchill.
Churchill is that?
It's a longer smoke.
That's very long.
You were saying sex parties from like the movies.
Yeah.
Or as we know it from outside of the area, we just call those Oakwood parties.
Oakwood parties, yeah. I don't think there's a lot.
Well, you guys can't talk about it. It's like Fight Club.
Yeah, they can't talk. I think that I've heard rumors that those are happening.
There's pink flamingos.
But they're happening everywhere. There's not just Oakwood.
Pink flamingo societies.
There's Beaver Creek's probably got plenty of it.
No. Just good salt of the earth people.
Yeah. And then as you go down in the picture, she's naked. There's
she's topless.
She's topless. She could have underwear or pants or something on. We don't know.
I would say dungarees.
Dungarees, probably dungarees.
That's how I picture her. She's got dungarees.
What are Europeans? They like those short pants. Capris. Capri dungarees. That's what she's wearing. No, she's probably wearing is overalls. No, cover. What are the ones with the straps? Not the full.
With the bibs? Yeah, overalls.
Yeah, overalls. Yeah, coveralls are what we had in the Navy. She's wearing overalls, but they're like half down.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing. And she's got a large breast. That's displayed. But awesome is covering the nipple area. The word awesome.
This beer could make you a man in 2 different ways.
This beer could make you a man. It leaves enough to the imagination to where you could have this beer on your shelf.
It's tasteful.
It's tasteful. It's tasteful. It's like, it's like nude art, but there's actually more pornographic art in the Art Institute than this bottle. Like full nips, you know? And those are church paintings. Adam and Eve, things like that. She is not Eve. Probably not. Anyway.
I'd eat the apple for her.
So, what you would assume is an attractive female. You can't see below the rib cage, so you're not sure. Maybe just a big woman. I don't know, but she doesn't look like it. She looks like she's fit. And that's really it. There's a nice blue sky background. It's like the cigar thing is what's interesting because the Effin, the E in the Effin is on fire, and that's what's lighting the cigar. Unless she's bad at smoking cigars, and the end is just on fire. But I don't think that's the case. The one cool thing I want to point out is that the 16%, the percent sign is on the stem of the 6. That's cool. That means that this wasn't just some like thrown together European label. This label, there's some thought put into this one. 16.9, damn. So that's effing awesome. That's the can art boner segment. I really don't have much else to say about it. Naked lady, almost half naked. Topless.
Does that mean so? It's a 16-ounce bottle. It's a 16% beer. Does that mean there's a percent of alcohol in every ounce? Is that how it works?
No, I believe there's 16% in every ounce.
Crazy. Tastes like it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. So this is very. That's the Can Art Boner segment brought to you by Emanuel. Thanks, Emanuel. This beer is very unique in that I've never had this type of beer.
Have the rest of it.
I don't want. Thank you. I'll say it has I could not pinpoint that this would be a lager. It has I would argue that there's maple in this beer if I didn't know that it was a lager, because when I tasted it without knowing what it was, it had this thick syrupy taste to it. And as I drink it more and more, I also kind of still tasted maybe not a maple flavor, but something like piney, sort of treeness to this beer.
A dark sweetness?
A dark sweetness. Like I said that last week, right?
Did you? I was going to be really proud of myself.
Was that yours?
I don't know if
that your comment?
I just thought I brought it. No, I'm not calling it.
But it does have flavor. Outside of the booziness, it has flavor. It's got a thickness, so that viscosity that Matt talks about. It has a syrupiness to it. You could sell this beer. I think you could sell this beer as some sort of barrel-aged bullshit, and people would buy the fuck out of it. It's not bad. This is actually a pretty good beer, and it doesn't sting like high-alcohol beers. It's much smoother, but you can definitely taste it. That's the thing. If you like that taste of strong beer, but you also like a beer that has some character, and it's not just selling itself as a strong beer with no flavor. This one has flavor. I wouldn't call it effing awesome. I would call it effing probably going to get hammered soon. You can taste yourself getting drunk here.
Yeah.
You can taste how
I'm going to watch this back, and I'm going to see my
you're going to watch it
change.
It smells like Werther's. But it's really well done for a beer of this caliber. I'm going to give it a very nervous 4.25.
Holy shit!
I think it's a great. It's one of the better high octane beers we've ever had. I think. I think it beats out some of these barrel aged stouts that come in and just punch you in the face.
I do like the new acronym that you made, barrel aged bullshit. So BABs.
Oh, I like that too. Barrel aged bullshit.
So that's yours.
It's a BAB's beer.
It's a BAB's beer. Off the top rope, I vacillated because JT awoke in some of the characteristics. I was between a 2.75 and a 3.0.
Wow, you were low.
I gave it a 3.0. This is it's a one hitter. I guess it does have a little bit of complexity to it, which kind of like there's a craft to it. It's not just like call it what it's just
for 16.9. To have flavor, I think is a.
But they're so like then you're getting to barley wines, and so like if you're just comparing that alcohol point, I've got a cellar full of shit that's going to taste a lot better than that. Like I've got 30 bottles of 120 minute that are all better than this. So like if I'm comparing it amongst its peers in the higher gravity, that's where it sets itself.
How do
apart.
we get here? How do you get here with a lager? How do you get to an Imperial Lager? Do we know?
I think. I'm not.
So how do you get to Imperial at all? It's the fermentation.
Yeah.
I don't know even what's fermented.
It's super unique. Like we've not had. I've had over 1,600 beers. This is 1,700 or what?
Damn.
This is the only Imperial Lager that I've had. So I'm sure if I did some research on Brew Advocate or whatever, it would. Sometimes it's classified differently or whatever. Like I just burped a little bit. Like I have a little bit of fire in the back of my throat.
Really?
I don't
have any of that.
I like not heat, but like that warming. It's coming. Yeah. It's coming back up. So I like big beers. I'm not against BABs. I like higher gravity things. It's just this doesn't have the artistry to hide that booziness that some of the other ones do. It's okay to be boozy. Just if I want this heat or whatever, I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna knock it up and go to like a bourbon or something like that. I enjoy this for what it is. I just compared to its peers, that's where I have to knock it down a little bit.
Compared to its peers of Imperial Lagers?
And compared to its peers of like double-digit barley wine big beers. Okay. So I said multiple times it's the best it's the best Imperial Lager I've ever had before. But again, when's the last time this is the highest rated lager that you've ever had? Is it the best lager you've ever had?
Is it the best lager I've ever had?
I can't say it.
It probably is. It probably is. But
crazy.
It's the most craft lager I've ever had, I think.
That's crazy.
Name one. Name a more craft lager than this.
That you've had?
No. That you know of.
Name a craft lager. I'd have to.
And don't say Yingling.
That Hershey Porter Yingling that people love. I don't know.
I thought it was fine.
This is why differences are good, man.
You know what's cool about Yingling is that people still can't get it. So they're still excited about it. Because when I moved here, I was like, holy shit, Yingling's readily available.
And they just had brought it here like when we moved here.
And then I was like, now I can get it and I don't want it.
It was a big deal 10 years ago when I first moved here. It was like, and it was like 6 months prior that they just gotten beer.
Well, when I was stationed in Virginia, it was like the thing.
Yeah.
You could get pictures of it at the bowling alley. It was no big deal.
But I can still take it back to Minnesota and people are still, like, Chuggo Day still appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. I could take it to Illinois and people are like, whoa, Yingling? Holy shit. It's craft to them.
Yeah. It's the exclusivity.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So for our second beer, I'm going to have to rinse out my glass. Okay.
I need to come up with a theme. I need to stick to a theme, too.
A theme for how?
Like we've had like these European beers. I'm gonna do a theme.
That's because I'm credit where credit's due. Emanuel bestowed upon me a bunch.
Yeah,
but I see there's value in having a shtick, a gimmick. I've always said that since episode 1.
Since episode 1.
Okay, so I can pronounce this brewery. This is Ursus Brewery. The name of the beer though is and this is Romanian. Timisorenana. Such a beautiful language. Emanuel will correct me tomorrow. but there's a lot to offer since 718. I'll say this is a blonde 5% Euro Pale Ale.
What country is this from?
Romania.
Romania. I missed that part.
So anyways, I'm going to just rinse a little bit with a pour. I'm going to
rinse out with some Miller. Boom.
Yeah, I should have. Oh yeah, there we go. That's going to be more what you're used to in this world. So definitely a blonde on the pour.
More Pivo type.
Yeah, more Pivo.
Mm-hmm. You could smell the dustiness.
But it's
that's the signature European smell.
Romania is a fantastic country. Been there multiple times.
Oh, you've been there? I've never been there. I've never been to
times.
Europe other than the landing there on the way home from the Middle East.
Oh yeah, I've spent multiple days. So here's my favorite Romanian story, and then we'll get to the beer. So we're coming back from Romania, and I forget the Romanian currency. I had looked this up a couple of weeks ago. So anyways, crew lands, and we get a weather divert because usually we land in the capital, Bucharest, or Constanta, which is right on the coast. Mm-hmm. And beautiful. Constanta is wonderful. Mm. But we get pushed further inland into eastern, deep Romania.
Deep Romania.
And
the dark web.
Right. And the story goes that when landed and the individuals, I was not on this trip, but it's one of my favorite stories, were picked up. They said our budget is for krona.
Yeah, something like that. That's what I was gonna say, like the krone or something.
Yeah. So the budget is we have $120 to spend. Okay. So the local handlers took that as 120 krone. And they're like, okay. So they took...
That's Danish. The Romanians, the leu.
Yeah, LEI, right?
LEU.
Okay, LEU. But it's not, it's something, it's pronounced differently.
Yeah.
Emanuel is, lay.
It's lay. Pronounced
lay.
LEW.
So, anyways, they pretty much said that they had the equivalency. It's like 4-1 or 5-1 right now.
5-1.
Yeah. So they basically said that they had $25 a night per person in American.
Oh, okay.
Which is not the case. They had $125 a night in American, but the currency exchange. So they pretty much took them to a hostel. Yeah. So like everyone is like having to bunk up rooms, and by that time they're like, oh, we're only going to be here overnight or whatever. Yeah. So you have officers sleeping together, enlisted sleeping together, or whatever, because that's the only thing that they could afford.
Right.
Like friends that were on the trip, you could audibly see the discomfort of the individuals. They're like, where can we take them? Like they have no.
So that's on per diem, you're saying?
Yeah.
But you could have
went.
Just use your own money.
Yeah. So like anytime we go there, we stay at like the Intercontinental or something like in downtown Bucharest, which is amazing, just gorgeous vistas and everything. But so they ended up staying in this absolute dump. Yeah, that was basically $20 a night. You know, imagine staying in a place for U.S.
Yeah, $20 a night
per person. So then you're paying $40 for the room because you had to bunk up with somebody.
We're talking roaches. We're talking bed bugs.
I forget the name of the place, but it was deep eastern Romania. I've told Emanuel this story, and he like listed off 17 cities because it's where he's from, and he knows. And I go, you could name it, and I would tell you no.
So I have
one of my favorite Romania stories.
I would love to just travel around there. Romania is where I think you start to get the perception of like Taken type stuff. Tor, the dark web, human trafficking. I know it's not all like that.
Everyone wearing Adidas jumpsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not everyone. But
Emanuel, remember this for the next gathering.
Presence is, and I want my bias to be squashed. I don't want to have that bias, but as an American who's never been, I think that's where it starts with me. Romania, obviously, Russia's where you really think of this stuff.
Well, because they've branched out. Yeah, you know, there's places that we were told not to go to in Bucharest that you don't go here because it's controlled by someone else. Yeah, it's not what you think it is.
It's not what you think. I think that's the difference between.
I've got so many Romania stories.
Eastern Europe and Africa, because in Africa they say, like my wife and I were looking at safaris, and there's a couple places where when you research them, like National Geographic will have these disclaimers that say like if you're blonde, dye your hair, or blonde female, dye your hair, like all these rules about, but
Very
it's just
much
like widespread human trafficking. Whereas in Romania, it's like organized.
Yep. So it's very much like Latin America. You know, I had friends that in college they went to Latin America and they dyed their hair. You know, gorgeous blondes, and then they, you know,
we're
brunettes.
trying to plan a vacation to Kilimanjaro, and there's a lot of disclaimers we have to go through.
Yeah.
Dyeing your hair is one of them.
I had a couple of buddies that did the Okavango Delta and South. So, you know,
South is the worst, I think, for blonde females.
Yeah, so like, you know, Botswana, places in Namibia and Angola where if you didn't have the right amount of money, like you're not getting across. And then they did shark diving in South Africa. So they jumped over like Zambia and, you know, they were in Botswana for the Okavango, but had a great time. But they knew what to do. Like they knew,
you have to do
well trained.
Don't go to Africa if you're just like a casual what do you call it? Like go with the flow vacationer. No, that is a place you need to be prepared.
Calculated.
You need to do your research, which is what we're finding out as we research.
You like this one better? This one's a little.
Well, this is easier to drink.
What?
Than the other one.
Hopefully, it does better than the 4.25.
Better than? I don't know.
Less thickness.
There are points to be given to uniqueness. I don't know. Imperial Lager is it's got this.
You saw the new spreadsheet. Did you like that I updated it and put the columns in?
I loved the spreadsheet
for the but for the style and then the alcohol percentage.
I haven't looked that deep into it yet because It's
at the bottom.
Saving it to be a one-day excursion where I put all my scores in. And I'm splitting the videos.
I have your scores in there, though.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
I haven't, looked deep into it, is what I'm saying. Like, I downloaded it, I opened it once to make sure it worked, and that was it.
I sent it to Cobra a couple of times. I'd never sent it to you before.
I don't remember ever getting it. I'll look through my emails just to make sure that maybe you did.
Cobra had asked for it. He goes, oh, yeah, send it to me because he...
I had asked for it, and I thought maybe there was this...
Had you asked for it, I would have sent it to you.
Joke that maybe I wasn't allowed to have it.
Had you asked for it, I would, because he asked for it multiple times.
I thought I asked for it, but maybe I didn't directly.
No problem sending it.
Yeah. I thought that maybe that was like a joke I wasn't in on. So there's this dustiness. Well, let me talk about the can first. This. Bottle art.
Have you seen a bluer? Have we had a bluer beer? Have you ever been blued before like that?
Oh, have I been blued like that?
Like by a bottle like that?
By a bottle? Well, Bud Light is similarly blue, but not as foily.
Blued.
Not as shiny. Bud Light in a bottle.
Do you know the significance of those colors?
I would guess that those are the Romanian flag colors. Look at that.
Sharp guy.
That's good. When you make enough beer in your country to where you could just be the flag. That's your logo. Timisorenana.
Nailed it. I'm glad you said that because I would have had you so Emanuel could laugh at us.
What was your pronunciation?
Not as good.
Oh. I don't think mine was good. I'm sure these letters have different... There's like a little... comma in there.
Yep.
What is that? What's that about? I love learning this European, spelling, alphabet stuff. The story goes on. It's all in English since 1718. I mean, this predates the United States of America.
Yep.
It doesn't predate America.
This bottle.
But it does predate the United States of America. This bottle, exactly, yeah. So this other one, this said bottle conditioned. I forgot to ask about that.
So 120 minute will bottle condition.
Where did it say that? Yeah, bottle conditioned.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so I know what 120 minutes doing. This is Can Bonus brought to you by Emanuel Timisorenana.
Nailed it.
Since 1718, the Romanian flag. I had at one time in my life thought maybe I should collect flags, and then I realized that's not a good idea. Too many flags. Where are you going to put them? It's got a barrel with a T on it, and for some reason, I believe this is not a barrel-aged beer. But it's still got a barrel with a T. Maybe they put their beer in barrels. I don't know. That would be an interesting thing if, like, some countries just, like, all our beer goes in barrels, not kegs.
All of our beer is lagered, yeah.
The story goes on. I wonder what the story is that goes on. Unfortunately, you know what would be really cool is if we can get some of these with the native labels.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not the...
Because we get all this American disclaimers and shit.
That are designated for import.
Like, have you seen cigarettes in Mexico?
Yeah.
They're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I would
Chicle?
never do that.
Chicle? What do they say? Chicle?
Yeah, if you go to the right
Chicle?
places, they want to say you're fucking shitty gum.
Chicle?
Let me see if there's anything else. I mean, the neck label is pretty cool. It's got that Christmas sweater feel to it. But other than that, there's really not much to talk about. That's the Can Opener segment. Brought to you by Emanuel. Thank you, Emanuel. Flavor-wise, it's got the same smell as most European beers, especially Eastern Europe. It's got that dusty smell to it, and that's okay because this one comes in a lot smoother, a lot cleaner than something like Pivo, for example, which I think that was Polish, but there was some Pivo beer that we had that was like a Pivo style. It was from Emanuel. The Pivo is the one I brought.
Yeah. So the second that wasn't.
But it wasn't Pivo.
But no, it was a Pivo Ukrainian beer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 2 weeks ago.
This one still has that. What is that? It's probably I don't know, some sort of grain, some sort of. I'm gonna. What do you think the base of this beer is? Corn?
No, it's a either wheat or barley.
Yeah, wheat or barley. That's the flavor you're getting. Whatever that is, that's the flavor of this beer. It's pretty. That's the flavor. Otherwise, you're just drinking water. This is the light beer. This is a light beer, but it's a light beer that has a European twist to it. It's got that smell that you always get from European beers, European light beers. I don't know. It's pretty basic. I don't really see any. They're not stretching here, but I could see this being a common drinker. You put this thing in a 12-ounce can. Put this in your fridge, 6-pack. Easy. This is the easy Bud Light of Romania. Miller Lite, because it doesn't suck. And in it not sucking, but being average, I'm at a 3.0. I like this beer, but there's nothing special about it.
Off the top rope, I like this beer because what it isn't like the typical European stank beer where it's got that stankness to it. I would have a difficult time if you put this with a bunch of American domestics tailoring this one outside of it because
I think you could.
It doesn't have that Heineken stank to it.
Not the Heineken is in a class of its own.
But like you know what I'm saying,
shit.
like Pilsner Urquell or something like that that has like that distinct European signature on it. This one doesn't. So if this would be a comfort zone for an expat that moves to Romania and wants to have something that reminds him or her of home. It's not.
I can see that.
It's not a great beer by any means, but it's a really good beer off the top rope. 375.
375.
Emanuel, I need to know, and we talk about this. I need to know whether you and your friends are laughing at us for this beer because this is a Romanian beer. This is your strong point. He wasn't familiar with too much of the Ukrainian ones that we had. I think the effing awesome. I think that was a funny joke to play on us. Mm-hmm. I feel that way.
It was good.
This one though, this is a sweet spot.
I think this is a European craft beer. That's what I think. I don't think it's a joke.
But okay, not a joke, but because you don't make money on jokes. But
that's true.
Are there people like sitting there with their Adidas sweatpants and their Adidas tracksuits, drinking a 4-pack of effing awesomes?
A 4-pack? Fuck no.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean,
so
they're a hardy people.
I do want to
Borscht.
I do
Borscht
want
and
to
Effin
point
Austin's.
out that for the mole people who this might not remember this period of time. During this current Ukraine-Russian crisis, Adidas has ceased operations in Russia. So all the people in Russia, I'm not comparing the Lithuanians to the Russians, but in Russia, whomever purchases and wears these Adidas tracksuits, they are currently unable to acquire new ones. Adidas is not selling in Russia. Although that seems like a big
McDonald's
miscalculation.
quit. There's so many people that like went and like when McDonald's was like, hey, we have 24 hours left. The lines were like just buying out. Oh yeah,
I bet.
They
gave a warning.
Yeah,
that's good. I don't know if I'm a businessman. I guess it depends on where my business is in its success. That's a hard decision. Russia's a big country.
Yeah,
especially like Adidas. McDonald's, I bet they're making a lot of money there, and it says a lot more about them. But some company like I don't know who might not make a lot of money there.
The Brew Crew podcast.
Yeah, so if we did stop. By the way, we've ceased operations in Russia. We weren't making a lot of money though, so there's nothing you can really say about our nobility. We're good people, but if we were making some money.
Some money, yeah. So on Friday, do you have your beers picked out for Friday yet?
I don't.
I've got one or two because I've got the
I guess
next...
we hadn't talked about whether or not we're going to rate and review beers.
I thought this is organic. I thought maybe we just go with the flow and let the questions carry us. Like,
yeah.
As soon as there's no longer questions, we're done.
As soon as there's no longer questions,
so we're gonna give it a solid 17 minutes.
Yeah.
No, it was just a digital hangout time essentially.
Yeah.
Had we organized a little bit better, it would have been nice to get a drinking list out to people and drink with us. Mm-hmm. That's just some of the shotgun planning by myself.
I'm willing to give it a shot for the hardcore chuggalos. I can get them beer.
You can get people like in Wisconsin beer.
No, not Wisconsin. That would be.
But like Stev is.
But I can get Stev.
Is Phil joining us?
Phil join us. Do you want him to? Yeah. He'll join us on camera if you want. He can come over. I'm still, like I said, I'm still deciding whether I need to do this in my office or in the bar.
I
need to do it in the bar, but
I don't want to tell you what to do.
No. So we can make plans for beer.
We can make plans for beer. Okay.
And then I can do my best to distribute it, or we can just drink whatever the fuck you want.
I'm just gonna drink whatever the F I want.
All right, you drink whatever the F you want.
I'm trying to think of. There is a way to do it that I failed on doing. Did you have that killer brownie yet?
I didn't, not yet. But every time I see it, I think of you.
I hate your face.
I'll drink it tonight.
I gotta drink something light and airy. This is just to cleanse my palate. Mm-hmm. That's why I cleaned yours. So this is a nice fruited sour. Mm-hmm. For us.
That's a good idea.
From Rhingeist.
From Rhingeist, I could tell by the back of the can.
Light,
Glow.
Light,
I think they have Glow.
Light, airy.
Oh, yeah.
So, not going to rate it, just a palate cleanser, but is there anything we need to talk about for Friday?
Well, we were discussing beer. If anybody wants to drink some of the same beers, I'm willing to just... So I have some 450s I haven't had yet, and I have a couple other beers that I'd like to drink. But if anyone would like to drink the same beer as me at least, I'm willing to figure out the logistics.
Tell me what it is. I'll go buy one.
Yeah, I'll buy it and get it to you. I don't want to buy all these 4-packs and have fucking extras.
I'm just trying to figure out how to get it back to the Wisconsin guys.
That's the thing. We got to get it to... So maybe we can find something that's distributed.
Mikey, you tell me, and Ryan might join us too. You guys tell me what you want to drink or what's in your fridge, because I know they're.
I wonder if Stev's ever had Spotted Cow.
I do have a lot of Spotted Cow.
I wonder if he had it.
You can see it right behind JT.
The Spotted Cow's great. I think it's great. But I knew I was drinking it when I had it. I wonder what Stev would say about it if he didn't know he was drinking it. And Svil. But I don't have that much Spotted Cow. I have no Spotted Cow, so it's not mine to give away. But I think it's a great beer. The Wisconsin people can get it. I've already had it, so I don't need it.
Yeah, see, that's like, I have Miller Lite. You know, that's like something. Because
to them,
if we're drinking New Glarus, like we're going after like the Thumbprint series beers.
I didn't even know there was other series.
Oh my goodness.
So my mom's going to a Wisconsin Dells in the summer. Can she get these exclusive beers?
Yeah.
All right, Mom, think about that. Okay.
If she sent me her path, I could even tell her the stores to go to.
Mom, send me your path.
Mom, if you're in the Dells, I will tell you the 2 liquor stores to go to.
Oh, look at that! Look at that!
And I will give you exit numbers because the places that we stop. Like,
so I have to pick up the
resorts.
I have to pick up the kids when they're done.
Yeah.
So I have unlimited space.
Yeah.
She can get as much beer as needed, and I'll just give her the money in her Chase account.
But there's some Thumbprint absolute dynamite type stuff like that. Again, comes in that strawberry rhubarb. You had a strawberry rhubarb.
Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah,
now, my mom made a strawberry rhubarb pie. I don't know if you know that for the first time ever. God, she made it for my son's birthday.
Breaks my heart. Why I didn't get a piece.
Very rare to find rhubarb in the winter, so that's why. I apologize.
Rhubarb.
Our family ate it.
Rhubarb freezes really well. It does.
Oh, okay.
It's a hardy root. It's celery with character. And rhubarb really grows really well wild.
Why aren't there more rhubarb beers?
Because it's not a common fruit.
Oh, you said it can't grow in the same spot twice?
No, that's ginseng.
Ginseng?
Yep.
We've never talked about that.
Rhubarb crisp is actually divine. I have some strawberry rhubarb. I'm thinking
about rhubarb crisp.
Yeah.
Like a dessert?
Like a bar, yeah, rhubarb crisp bar. Oh,
holy
it's
shit,
fantastic.
that sounds awesome.
It's tart and crumbly at the same time. Yeah, so you've had a strawberry rhubarb. I've private stock. It's like your blind pig. We do a pretty good job.
You gave me the. Let's be honest.
We do a pretty good job of spoiling each other. That's for sure.
Yeah. You gave me the strawberry rhubarb. I'm not gonna.
And the killer brownie, which he hasn't had.
The killer brownie.
And he said, I will get back to you probably
tonight.
Tonight.
Honestly, I thought that, you know what? I just realized that I said I was going to bring you a killer brownie. I will bring you a killer brownie before Friday. I will drop one off at your door.
I can't handle those carbs.
You have to try it though.
I'm beach bod shape.
Beach bod. I'm out of beach bod shape. I went to the beach in non-beach bod shape.
I'm excited for Friday because it starts turning into this. If we had a couple more effing awesomes, it would be, and I know where to get them, so we can get more of them.
You know where to get them
from Emanuel.
Man, that would be crazy.
Just to see Chuggalos Phil.
Yeah.
On an effing awesome.
Oh, I could do it. Where do you get them? I'll go get it.
From Emanuel.
From Emanuel. Emanuel, hook us up. I'm willing to do some in-person shit. I know you're gonna be like half in, half out for most of the day. Until
on
you're
Friday,
gonna be full in on
Friday. I got a pep
stream.
talk. I got a pep talk on Friday.
Oh, you did?
To take a nap. He said.
Yeah, take a nap.
Take a nap
for sure. Take a nap.
My problem is, and we've been good friends for long enough. Mm-hmm. I turn into a hero, and I think that I can handle it. And then
no, you are a hero. You can handle it.
Right. I have a picture of you laughing at me with someone else's balls in my face.
Mm-hmm. They weren't real balls, though.
They were balls.
They were balls.
And then you were laughing. You didn't defend me, and I was passed out.
Yeah. I have to own that. I did not defend you. I didn't defend you.
You didn't defend me. You didn't tackle this individual.
Did I follow the crowd? Yeah, probably.
It was pretty funny.
I don't know whose idea it was.
And it was completely innocent, and no one was violated, and it was funny looking back on the
That's
pictures.
it's actually a hard balance. Now that I also wake up really early, I find that on days where you know you're going to be up late, like for example, I'm thinking about maybe opening up the Carriage House Bar for the Wright State game on Wednesday. Maybe.
Yep.
But I wake up really early like you do.
Yep.
So there's this balance where you have to figure out, how can I ensure I'll be okay staying up late? And I get why it was hard for you. But, like if we had a Saturday party, I will take a nap halfway through the day.
Yeah, I mean,
when we had our Halloween.
I try to. There was a certain picture that affected me, really. That is what put me down.
You also have a lot of activities going on. The roulette, that doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, things don't help. And
that specific year, I
terrible.
remember you taking roulette shots.
Terrible planner.
That weren't your turn.
Terrible planner. It's just,
It's not about planning.
It's about making the fun go on, and that's really what we've tried to do for 174 of these episodes. There was 3 of them that
There
were
was 3 of them.
terrible. I didn't push the fun. Episode 64 comes to mind.
Which one was that?
83.
83.
And kind of 91. I mean, you know what happened on 91.
I remember 91. Yeah. There was just a lot of anger.
The fist fight.
Yeah, that was the fist fight episode. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen to 91. That was
there's no video.
9 episodes before we started doing video.
Yep.
And we switched to Podbean. Podbean.
We were known under a different moniker, but that's it. I'm excited for Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central.
Eastern time.
God's time zone, when all things should be dictated off. Still to this day, football should kick off at noon.
Football kickoff at
Central
noon.
time zone
I
is the
would
best
agree with
time
that.
zone.
Yeah, Central time zone's great.
See?
I'll say
Central
this:
time zone
Pacific,
alum.
Pacific time. It's the worst time zone. Fuck it.
Pacific?
I hate
better than
that
Hawaii?
anything is ever based on Pacific time.
What's based off Pacific time?
Sunday Night Baseball, for example, is based on Pacific time, and it's fucking terrible. Maybe not Sunday Night Baseball. I think that's 8:05. But the any Dodgers and Giants game is at 10 fucking o'clock, and if the Cubs are playing over there, or in your case the Brewers, it's too late. No one can watch that shit.
I go to bed.
No one can watch that shit. I like watching baseball.
You'll stay up, yeah.
I won't stay up. No. I won't stay up for that.
There's other people like
in the playoffs, yeah, but they'll do that earlier.
When I get up to go to work, 2 of my best friends, they were making fun of me. They're like, Matt's going to read this in 15 minutes. And sure as shit, 10 minutes later.
You were up reading it.
And I'm reading it, and I send them a message, and they'll never respond because they just went to bed.
Yeah.
And they have to be up at 8 o'clock. Like, they can survive on 15 minutes of sleep.
Yeah, that's how I am. I can survive on very little sleep. I don't like to.
No.
That's how I am.
I can do it, but I'm not a fan. But that's it. 177.
177. That's 177 episodes for your enjoyment.
This Friday, YouTube.
Yep.
9/8 Central. I always
9,
want to say
8
that.
Central.
Makes it sound big time.
YouTube. Don't go to Facebook thinking we're going to be on Facebook Live.
We'll throw shit on Facebook too. I know.
Yeah,
we get engagements and reactions. So
Friday. That's it.
Bad guys. God dang it.
Bad guys.
Bad times don't last, but bad guys do.
That's right. I loved Razor.